Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
Some CARICOM countries score low on transparency. Our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Friday, January 27. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Ricardo Roberts. Good evening. Countries of the Caribbean and Latin America are not as transparent as they should be. That's according to the 2016 rankings of the Global Coalition Against Corruption, Transparency International. 11 of CARICOM's 15-member countries were ranked on the index, which looked at corruption levels in 176 countries around the world. In its report released earlier this week, the agency noted that only 6 CARICOM countries scored above 50, which is the midway point in the corruption index. The Bahamas is the top-ranked CARICOM country, rated as being least corrupt in the region. It is ranked number 24 with a score of 66, while the next highest-ranked Caribbean country is Barbados at position 31 with a score of 61. St. Lucia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines tied for third position in CARICOM, ranked 35th with a score of 60, followed by Dominica at 38 with a score of 39, and Grenada ranked 46th with a score of 56. Suriname was ranked 64, Jamaica 83, and Trinidad and Tobago 101. Haiti was identified as the most corrupt country in CARICOM at position 159 with a score of 20. Transparency International was quick to add that in spite of the financial scandals that made regional headlines such as the Panama Papers and the FIFA corruption scandal, 2016 was a good year in the fight against corruption in the Americas. It noted there was increasing communication and cooperation among regulators and law enforcement throughout the region. But the agency said there is still a long way to go. It said citizens must keep pressure on leaders and continue to demand transparent, accountable, and functioning institutions. Dominica's opposition leader, Lennox Linton, wants a public inquiry into the controversial citizenship by investment program. And he has hinted that his United Workers' Party, the UWP, could stage street demonstrations to press the demands. Linton's call comes on the heels of the recent arrest of Iranian national Ali Reza Halat Monfared on allegations of corruption. Now, Monfared was granted Dominican citizenship under the Citizenship by Investment Program in 2014 and was granted diplomatic status. But on Wednesday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs insisted that due diligence had been carried out before Monfared's citizenship was approved. But Linton told UWP supporters that the party wants an immediate end to the sale of Dominica's diplomatic passports. A United States-based St. Vincent and the Grenadines national has been freed of charges that he made threats to murder Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. The prosecution said charges against Paul Scrub were withdrawn because of lack of evidence. Scrub was arrested at the E.T. Joshua Airport in July 2016 as he was about to return to the U.S. after a 5-week vacation on the island. He was charged with making threats to murder Prime Minister Gonsalves and members of his family and making seditious utterances. Scrub was not required to plead when he appeared in court last July and was granted bail but barred from leaving the country. The prosecution had then asked for a 3-month adjournment but was still not ready to proceed when the case was called on October 31. Scrub's bail conditions were reviewed and he was allowed to leave the country. In other news, Trinidad and Tobago's Attorney General revealed that more than 300 entities have been listed in the Twin Island Republic as terrorist entities. The news comes as government pursues so-called Explain Your Wealth legislation. The move is meant to clear the way for several matters related to the financing of terrorism abroad to go before the courts. Joel Brown of TV6 News reports.
Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi tells the TV6 News via telephone that the number of terrorist entities listed in Trinidad and Tobago has increased from 80 to 333 in 5 months. This is based on a United Nations Security Council sanctions list and other listings.
If you want to prosecute in Trinidad and Tobago, you have to have covered all of those bases already. So you've got to list ISIS, list Boko Haram, list all of these entities as entities under our anti-terrorism law. The 333 entities listed includes locals, and we have about 9 more on the table to come to court right now, which will be very specific listings. We're working with our international partners on some very pinpointed local involvement, and that will be coming before the courts quite shortly as well.
The AG said part of the matters set to go before the local courts are related to the Financial Intelligence Unit's report that stated that from 2015 to 2016, 182 Trinidad and Tobago nationals were suspected of involvement in the financing of terrorist activities.
I will be bringing significant amendments to the anti-terrorism position very shortly to the Parliament, and we continue to focus not only upon legislative introduction, but also on operationalization of laws.
Meantime, the leader of the Islamic Front in Trinidad and Tobago, Umar Abdullah, is calling on the Attorney General to name the people government has labeled terrorists. Speaking on a radio program on Friday, he said Al-Rari must also identify entities linked to terrorism activities overseas and indicate what definition is used to classify someone as a terrorist. Abdullah also called on the Attorney General to meet with the various sects of Muslims in the Twin Island Republic before making statements, and he said he would not stand idly by and allow Muslims to be victimized. Authorities in Guyana are probing financial irregularities at 3 state agencies. They were discovered in forensic investigations into operations at the Guyana Power and Light, the Guyana Rice Development Board, and the Guyana Energy Agency. You get more from Royden James of HGP TV in Georgetown.
Finance Minister Winston Jordan Tuesday last submitted to Cabinet forensic audit reports for the Guyana Power and Light, the Guyana Rice Development Board, and the Guyana Energy Agency. Addressing Thursday afternoon's post-Cabinet media briefing, Minister Raphael Trotman said that Cabinet had a careful look at the reports and decided that they should attract the attention of the police.
The Honourable Minister of Public Infrastructure was requested to follow up on the relevant issues with the Board of Directors of the Guyana Power and Light, Inc., while the Honourable Minister of Public Security was requested to forward the reports of the Guyana Rice Development Board and the Guyana Energy Agency to the Commissioner of Police for further investigations.
The forensic report on the Guyana Rice Development Board was delivered to the police by Minister Jaipal Sharma. The GRDB has been at the center of attraction since 2015 when the government discovered that officials from that agency were involved in widespread corruption, ranging from cronyism to financial mismanagement. Minister Trotman said over at the Rice Board, it is suspected too that some persons might have made self-interest a priority and not the work of the board.
There were instances of persons within the agency actually using money to trade in foreign currency.
The minister explained too that after the coalition took office, the majority of the key players at the Rice Board resigned, but this would not preclude them from prosecution when and if the time comes.
Coming up in Caribbean Newsline, the government and private sector in Jamaica at odds over a move to regulate bank fees. Stay with us. More news after this.
Straight out of the bodacious and beautiful culture of the Caribbean comes a music and talent competition like no other. Brace yourself for the exciting, entertaining, extraordinary, and new reality docuseries, Icon of the Islands. The story begins in the breathtaking backdrop of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Every year, this is where a wide and diverse range of contestants of all ages and backgrounds audition for a wildly popular and prominent local talent competition. And the ultimate goal for each contestant is to win.
I already have my favorites, but my favorites may not prevail tonight.
Some moments will bring performers to their knees, while some performances will bring fans to their feet. Get ready to see which star will be the last one shining in the spotlight as the stars align this season on Icon of the Islands.
Ciao, Bella! Grab your girlfriends because we're all heading to the Concord Experience for the Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival to experience La Dolce Vita. Yes, the sweet life. It's wine, cheese, pasta, pizza, plus the flavor and culture of Italy, while exploring the many deals from our exciting exhibitors. Saturday, February 4th and Sunday, February 5th, check out the all-new Arts Village, specialty events, seminars, the charity brunch, and the Vagina Monologues. We can't forget the fashion shows, live music, and more on the Neutrogena main stage. Get your early bird tickets now for only $20 from all TicketPal and Italia Coffee locations, or enjoy the all-inclusive VIP foodie experience for only $75. Art parties, rejuvenation, shopping, paparazzi, and good friends. It's Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival, La Dolce Vita. Thanks to IGM, Purity Bakeries, Y103.3 FM, NCF, and Trident 10 TV.
Get ready for the Caribbean's most original carnival, Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominic 2017, February 4th to the 28th. Revel in the splendor of a masquerade band. Experience the parades, the non-stop fetes, Dominica Nights, Dominique Do, Mass Dominic, the real mass. Come, revel with us. Visit us online at dominicafestivals.com or call us at 767-255-8221.
The Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, is fighting government's attempt to regulate bank fees. It says the move to introduce legislation to make that happen is a retrograde step. Janella Presus of TVJ News reports.
In the coming weeks, Parliament is expected to continue debate on a bill which seeks to regulate banking fees. For the PSOJ, any attempt at regulation is a backward step which would place the power of setting fees in the hands of Parliament. In a release, the PSOJ referred to some of the proposed changes to the Banking Act as misguided and contrary to the recent confidence the country has seen under the economic program.
And if Parliament sets the prices on transactions, then where does the competitiveness distinction come from? Everyone is subject to the same price, so there's no competition. No one can distinguish himself one from the other.
He argues that deregulation of capital markets is a better approach.
Just like when we reduce the transaction cost on mortgages, for example, mortgage companies reduce their rates in order to attract people from one institution to the next. That's what we need to do. That's the blueprint for it there. So why go back to an era where we had price controls? I mean, a lot of people don't see interest as the price of money, just like how they see the price of bully beef. Would they go into a supermarket, for example, and say, tomorrow, you can't sell a bully beef for more than this, irrespective of what it costs? You know, they're killing competitiveness when they do that.
Going forward, the PSOJ is calling for dialogue.
There should be consultation between the Parliament and the stakeholders, and therefore we can have a win-win situation, because we do sympathize with the fact that costs are too high. We're just saying it for a long time, but let's find a solution that's sustainable and long-term to the benefit of everyone, including the consumer, because this is definitely not going to be it.
Bahamas Prime Minister Perry Christie has been re-elected leader of the ruling Progressive Liberal Party, the PLP, and he has urged supporters to ensure that the party is returned to power in the next general election that is due by May this year. Addressing this 52nd National General Convention of the party on Thursday night, Christie thanked the delegates for believing in him and trusting in his vision for a better future for the Bahamas. He said in the coming weeks, the Charter of Governance for the next PLP administration will be unveiled, and Christie promised that another PLP administration would seek to implement bigger and bolder changes and more quickly. Genetically modified mosquitoes released in the Cayman Islands are reportedly making a dent in the population of the disease-carrying insects. 8 million genetically modified males have so far been released in a 300-acre rollout area under the so-called Friendly Aedes aegypti project. And the Mosquito Research and Control Unit says the evidence shows they're getting the job done. MRCU Director Dr. William Petrie is pleased with the results.
Almost 6 months after the first batch of genetically modified Aedes aegypti mosquitoes were released in West Bay, MRCU Director Dr. William Petrie says the results are exceeding expectations.
The male mosquitoes that are being released are indeed mating successfully with the female mosquitoes in the wild.
The GMO males carry a fluorescent marker gene. Dr. Petrie says that marker gene is showing up in more than 90% of eggs in the treatment area.
This is 2 months worth of data, so it is solid. It's an average of 94% over the past 2 months, so that's very encouraging.
Even more encouraging, he says, is the effect the GMO males have made on the overall population.
We're able to show that the percentage of the population, let me put it this way, in the treatment area is 12% of the Aedes aegypti population in the non-treatment area.
Now that we are seeing very positive returns from this trial program, in my mind just serves further to validate it. And I'm really looking forward to, once the program is finally over, to seeing what the ultimate results are.
Health Counselor Roy McTaggart says government is likely to look favorably upon any future recommendations from the MRCU regarding a nationwide rollout, but says it's too early to take a guess about the cost specifics.
I mean, I think what you'd be looking at is a commitment financially over several years in order to truly achieve the suppression. I think that would probably be needed.
While the Zika threat has fizzled in Cayman from its peak in late 2016, the consensus is that the Aedes aegypti still poses a significant public health risk.
What we are quite sure of is that dengue is not going away.
And that report from Joe Avery of Cayman 27. And ahead in Newsline Sport, a former Australian batsman named as head coach of the West Indies men's team. Stay with us, sport is next.
Roundhay Pharmacy now has 2 locations to fill your prescriptions promptly and efficiently. Our branch at One Accord Plaza is open daily, including Sundays and bank holidays. Also, check out our new drive-through location at Warren's Healthcare Complex in Michael, the first and only drive-through pharmacy in Barbados. For more information, call Roundhay One Accord Plaza at 421-7863 and our new drive-through branch at Warren's in Michael at 424-5574.
Welcome to my island. Welcome to my Caribbean island. Welcome to my island.
Maybe in my next life I'll become a golfer.
Ready for the Caribbean's most original carnival, Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominic 2017, February 4th to the 28th. Revel in the splendor of a masquerade band. Experience the parades, the non-stop fetes, Dominica nights, Dominiki do, Mass Dominic, the real mass. Come, revel with us. Visit us online at dominicafestivals.com or call us at 767-255-8221.
West Indies Cricket Board on Friday confirmed the appointment of former Australian batsman Stuart Law as head coach of the men's team on a 2-year contract. The 48-year-old Law, a former Sri Lanka and Bangladesh head coach, will formally take up the post on February 15, just weeks before West Indies face England in a 3-match one-day series in the Caribbean. Media reports last month had indicated Law had reached a deal with the WICB. He fills the post left vacant when Phil Simmons was asked 5 months after leading the West Indies to capture the T20 World Cup in India last April. Law placed a single test and he played a single test and 54 one-day internationals, and also campaigned extensively for English counties Essex and Lancashire. Following his playing career, he served in several coaching roles. He coached the Australia under-19s. He was head coach of the stateside Queensland Bulls and of Big Bash franchise Brisbane Heat. Last year, he served as batting coach with the national side for the tour of Sri Lanka. Law says he is anxiously looking forward to his tenure with the Caribbean side. Veteran batsman Shivnarine Chandapal's splendid century proved in vain as Jerome Taylor produced an incisive 5-wicket haul to wreck Jaguars, that's Guyana Jaguars, and propel Jamaica Scorpions to their first win of the Regional Super 50 in Bridgetown on Thursday night. In a riveting contest at Kensington Oval, Scorpions posted 249 for 8 of 50 overs and then bowled out Jaguars for 208 of 44 overs to come away with a 41-run victory. Chandapal's superb 101 lifted Jaguars from despair at 14 for 4 in the 8th over and hauled them back into contention. The veteran left-handed anchored 2 successive half-centuries stands with Raymond Reefer and wicketkeeper Anthony Bramble. But once Taylor returned, Jaguars lost their last 4 wickets for 19 runs in the space of 25 deliveries to collapse to their second straight defeat. Rookie fast bowler Rina Leverage was brilliant up front in tandem and with Taylor and finished with 3 for 38. Opener Chadwick Walton had earlier top scored with 82 from 84 balls as Scorpions, opting to bat first in the day-night encounter, managed to raise a challenging total. Antigua Devon Thomas stroked an unbeaten 56, while Test batsman Jermaine Blackwood chimed in with 42 and Brandon King 21. Off spinner Stephen Jacobs, left-arm seamer Raymond Reefer and left-arm spinner Veerasamy Permaul all picked up 2 wickets each. Now, after the match, Chandapal said while he enjoyed his knock at the Kensington Oval, he was disappointed with his side's batting performance.
It's a very good wicket to bat on, always batting in Barbados. Good bounce, good pace. Ball came on nice. We lost some early wickets and it was set, it was good condition for me to go out and play the way I played, and we were taking easily, and it's just that we end up losing wickets, too many wickets in the process. If we had wickets on the bottom end, we'd probably pull off the match.
Jaguars are now winless after suffering a heavy 145-run loss to Barbados Pride at the same venue last Tuesday. But Chandapal remains optimistic about the Jaguars bouncing back in the game since it's still early days in the regional tournament.
Still have a lot of games in the tournament to play, so we have to try and put this behind us as quickly as possible. And we have 6 more games to play, try and play as well as we can. We know we can, and then hopefully, if we win them, we still can get out on top of this league.
Jaguars face unbeaten combined campuses and colleges Marooners in their 3rd game on Saturday. Now, rolling back to our story with the tour of the Caribbean, with England coming to the Caribbean. That's the England selectors have named an unchanged 40-man squad for the 3-match one-day international series against West Indies in March. The side, which will be again led by Ian Morgan, recently lost 2-1 to India in a similar three-match series. National selector James Whitaker says it was important to keep the core group of players together in the build-up to the ICC Champions Trophy later this year. He said there is a huge emphasis on white ball cricket during the first half of 2017 as England continues its preparations for this summer's ICC Champions Trophy tournament at home. Whitaker added that the current group of players is making excellent progress under Morgan's captaincy, and head coach Trevor Bayliss and the tour of the Caribbean will enable the players to test themselves in different conditions against a competitive side. England will face West Indies in the first two ODIs in Antigua on March 3 and 5 before travelling to Barbados for the third game on March 9. The tourists play two warm-up games in St. Kitts prior to the start of the series. Switching sports now, TNT's beach soccer team is hoping to rise above negativity when it takes on the rest of the region in the CONCACAF Beach Championships scheduled for the Bahamas next month. TNT crashed out early in the previous championship, but according to head coach Benny Astorga, they are ready to go all the way this time around. Ken Fuentes of C-Sport has that story.
The team has been continuing its preparation at Seath Park in Chaguanas, and coach Benny Astorga says he's happy with the build-up heading into the camp in Tobago.
This year has been really great. We've had the support of the volleyball community as well as the TTFA. It's been really good. Everything that we've asked for, we've been given, and we're moving forward in preparation for a World Cup qualifier.
At the camp, the players will have several players with European experience to contend with, in the form of Romario Figueras Amarillo, who is the captain of the FC Barcelona beach soccer team, and is also a FIFA beach soccer instructor, Spain national Laurent Gomez Leon, and Italian international Dario Ramaciotti, among other players. The man charged with leading us to a first ever beach soccer World Cup believes the team has the desire needed to do well at the qualifiers.
You know, the confidence is there. The guys have grown. They've had the experience now. I mean, they want it. They want it more than anything. They want to bring Trinidad out of this thing that's this negative, image. They want to bring them to the light. They have the resources, they have the talent, and they have the drive.
With two spots up for grabs in the World Cup in the CONCACAF region, the Beach Warriors, though ranked 7th in the CONCACAF region, are still confident they can qualify for a first ever Beach Soccer World Cup, which takes place from April 27th to May 7th in the Bahamas.
We came in there with high expectations, and I think we surpassed a lot of the expectations we had for the last qualifiers. So now we're looking for nothing shorter than first, so I know that we can push through, we can do that, and, be in a World Cup.
And that's the sport. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Ciao, Bella! Grab your girlfriends because we're all heading to the Concord Experience for the Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival to experience La Dolce Vita. Yes, the sweet life. It's wine, cheese, pasta, pizza, plus the flavor and culture of Italy, while exploring the many deals from our exciting exhibitors. Saturday, February 4th and Sunday, February 5th, check out the all-new Arts Village, specialty events, seminars, the charity brunch, and the Vagina Monologues. We can't forget the fashion shows, live music, and more on the Neutrogena main stage. Get your early bird tickets now for only $20 from all TicketPal and Italia Coffee locations, or enjoy the all-inclusive VIP foodie experience for only $75. Art parties, rejuvenation, shopping, paparazzi, and good friends. It's Girlfriends Expo and Arts Festival, La Dolce Vita. Thanks to IGM, Purity Bakeries, Y103.3 FM, NCF, and Trident 10 TV.
Round Hay Pharmacy now has 2 locations to fill your prescriptions promptly and efficiently. Our branch at One Accord Plaza is open daily, including Sundays and bank holidays. Also, check out our new drive-thru location at Warren's Healthcare Complex in Michael, the first and only drive-thru pharmacy in Barbados. For more information, call Round Hay One Accord Plaza at 421-7863 and our new drive-thru branch at Warren's in Michael at 424-5574.
Again, the major developments of this day. Some CARICOM countries score low on transparency in the latest global rankings. And in sport, the West Indies Cricket Board confirms the appointment of former Australian batsman Stuart Law as head coach of the men's squad. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sports round the clock, log on to CarnaNews.com. We'll be back here again on Monday, but from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and have yourselves a good night.